working on, in keeping with AoS X MTG, I thought it would be fun to make some decks. And I've done one. Notice I updated one of them 32 minutes ago. I added one card to it. So far, King Broad is done, quote unquote. I'm not spending like a terrifically large amount of time on these that I would otherwise, but King Broad is essentially done. And then we have default lands copy, which is just the lands I would use in basically any commander deck, and then whatever you're making it out of, you just delete the colors, you know? We got King Broad. This is obviously not King Broad. I don't think you can do custom cards in Mox Field, I don't think. Or at least I haven't seen anything where you could. But it looks like we have all 100 cards for a Mega Gargant AoS EDH MTG. King Big. It's just a shitload of ramp. And then some humongous crap. Looks like it could be fun. You haven't been able to find a way to do custom cards? Okay. I don't know, maybe I don't want to go over these. Maybe I want it to be secret. I'm not sure. I think it'd be funny to like have it be revealed, you know? That's kind of part of the fun, I suppose. Mayhap. But oh, hold on. Where's my... Maybe I could at least get a list of ones that would be neat to make. Where's my PowerPoint presentation? I'm looking for it. It's here somewhere. Here we go. AoS MTG. What YouTube videos have you been working on? I got one in the tank that I've been working on, and I just finished the Magic one. Those are the next Why Play. You know, I'm thinking about doing Gits. I don't know if that's right, but I'm on the research stage of the Gits one. I think there's a good amount of humor and lore and stuff like that. Do you like fun? Play Gits. True. This would actually be a fun EDH to make, centered around Sunforger. Sunforger is always nice. Heavily considering Bastion Carthalos. It's one of the ones that maybe I'm doing. Have like a, you know, his whole theme is at the beginning of each end step he deals X damage to any target, and so you can do stuff like, ooh, we'll give him lifelink because that actually counts. Lifelink isn't just combat damage, it's any damage. Curiosity if you're hitting players with it to draw a card, maybe Soul Fim for doubling it, and a general theme of just like drawing cards and stuff. Bastion Carthalos might be fun. Talia Vedra. I don't think I want to play Human Tribal, but Human Tribal is really strong, and there's like a million excellent humans. I pulled 3 random legendary humans out. They're all amazing. So I'm sure you could make a very good Human Tribal 5-color deck out of it if you wanted to. I don't think I want to build one, but it would be good. Now would be a great time to do Why Play Flesh Eater Courts. Oh yeah, because they just got a model release. You're right. Shit. Yeah, they are the most recent release, too. Maybe that's better. Maybe I should ride the wave of a new release. Maybe that's just like a better idea. And the lore actually matches the models now, kinda. The new models, yeah, kinda. I should ride the wave of new hype. Man, I should be better at this content creation stuff. I suck at making thumbnails, and I'm not great at figuring out which wave to ride. But I think, yeah, you might be right. Maybe FEC is just a better choice. I can always do gits later. Yeah, I think you might be onto something there. Apparently all you need for a good thumbnail is Pippa feed. Well, I mean, you're not exactly wrong. But you gotta figure the type of viewer you're pulling in. Then again, I guess it doesn't matter. As long as a bunch of people watch, right? By the time this comes out, people will be glutted with Flesh Eater Quartz content. Maybe. I am really slow at making content. That's true. It takes me forever. Maybe it'll be saturated. The market will be saturated by the time a video comes out. I don't know. But it's closer to current than anything else could be, right? People haven't gone crazy on FEC stuff because of the holidays. Oh, you're right, Dragon 240. Technically, the Battle Tome hasn't come out yet. So as long as I'm around the time when the Battle Tome actually comes out, I think maybe I'm safe. When is it coming? What's my deadline? Flesh Eater Quartz Battle Tome release date. Why did I think that would just tell me the answer? Being released in 2024. Thank you. I knew that. I knew that part. Probably end of January, beginning of March. Okay, well, I can surely be done with the video by then. He said. Time to stream pivot. Let's work out the gross stuff in FEC. Yeah, I better start now then. I better start immediately after this stream. I mean, I probably will. At the rate I go. Well, hey, January is content month, so no day job. Maybe it'll be done in a week. Who knows? I'm just working on it and some other stuff for the stream. Content month, let's go. Yeah, streaming Zork, Grand Inquisitor, making YouTube videos. It'll be a great month. It'll be a good time. I think Daughters of Cain would be a cool EDH, but I didn't put Hatred over here, even though I probably could have. Hatred's a good choice. You love classic Kino game nights. I hoped that people liked it. I enjoyed myself. I thought it was fun. I got stuck on a puzzle or two, but overall it was a fun experience. The shit was like a cartoon. It was clearly, you know, meant for a younger audience in a fun way, though. Got the FMV sequences in there. Not Indiana Jones, don't sue us guy. I don't know, there was some good stuff. Bale Grimnir is tempting. This would actually be a fun one to build, I think. I mean, as long as you have treasures, it's ramp in Boros, which is rare. Usually you have to jump through a hoop, and you do have to jump through a hoop here. It's got damage reflecto, Vigilance, damage reflectos, kind of nuts. Put Star of Extinction in there, Blasphemous Act. Not the Golgari Snake Lady, seems like a slam dunk for Doc. What's the Golgari Snake Lady? Which one's that one? Do you mean the one with, monstrosity that destroys all non-Gorgon creatures? That would be a slam dunk. Oh shit, CGO Busta. 20 tier 1 subs? Jesus Christ. Holding that one in. Dude, 20 tier 1s? Dude, I appreciate it. Huge. Thanks for the gigantic sub block. Appreciate it. Does this mean you want more Ancient Games streams? Is that what you're saying? I could do it. The only thing that stops me from doing it is how it's like not a great idea for getting a ton of viewers. But it's fun and you gotta avoid burnout somehow, right? So I don't know. I like it and I'm probably gonna do more. Oh, it's 25% off gifts? You gotta participate? Dude, that means that 20 for the price of 15. Let's go. The Grippler. You don't remember her name, but your friend plays a snake tribal deck with her. I think I know who you're talking about. I don't know her name either, but I remember her. I can't. Yeah. Just get more wood. Make a little. Ancient game for streaming. So Ancient, you need to run it on Windows 3.1. Mordor, the Depths of Dejanol. Mordor, the Depths of Dejanol. Reviewer for Next Generation praised the easy accessibility of character info, but condemned the game for its lack of story and puzzles, saying that the absence of these elements make it just not fun, quote. He scored it 2 out of 5 stars. God damn. Blasted. David Allen made this, The Depths of Dejanol. It released in 1995 for Windows 3.1 DOS. It was based on a late 1970s MUD named Avatar, which was developed by the University of Illinois.
Deal me out this hand, Jason. I'm about to bust.
Shit, Bustin'?
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Damn, look at that lip syncing at the end. That shit. CG Busta, thanks for the 69 burgers. Huge dono. Hey, Merry Christmas, I guess, right? Thanks a lot. Huge. You'd love for another long-form CRPG run like Baldur's Gate 3, Tyranny, or Planescape or something. I started Planescape, and I really enjoyed it. And then something came up and I stopped. I can't remember why, but I liked it. Maybe we could continue that one. Huge dono. Thanks, CJ Busta, by the way. You'd prefer Monkey Island franchise if you're still feeling point and click? Dude, Monkey Island was good. I liked a few of the different Monkey Islands. Maybe Curse of is the best balancing point between old and good. Yeah, Bustin' did used to be a staple of this show. We even had the New Year's Eve 9-hour, 12-hour Bustin' stream. I vaguely remember that one. We could do Monkey Island. We could do Day of the Tentacle. That's a good one. Full Throttle. That's a good one. The Neverhood. That's a good one. Curse of is the best by far, but 1 and 2 aren't awful. Yeah. Broken Sword? I don't think I played Broken Sword. You have no mouth and you must scream. Point and click game? I played that game. I remember that game. I remember I have no mouth and I must stream. And I must stream? Okay. Okay, dude. Dude, that's actually a good stream title. I have no mouth and I must stream. And then it's like the point and click game. Ogre Battle Rise Up. Ogre Battle might be too long. Maybe it's not. Broken Sword. What? Can I look up Broken Sword? Shadow of the Templars. 9 out of 10. Release date 96. Also known as Circle of Blood in the United States. Oh. Okay. That's why I hadn't heard of it. It's called Circle of Blood in the US. Development of the game saw considerable work to achieve its presentation. Artwork was conceived by Eogan Cahill and Neil Breen. Wait, what? Who particularly drew the backgrounds in pencil and digitally colored them in Photoshop. In '96, no doubt Photoshop 3. The game's design was handled by Tony Werner and David Sykes, while the game's musical score was composed by Barrington Folon. The game was built with Revolution's virtual theater engine, which had already been used by the company in 2 previous games, Lure the Temptress and Beneath the Steel Sky. Broken Sword proved a critical and commercial success following its release in '96. Praised its story, puzzles, voice acting, writing, gameplay, and music. Got numerous awards. It had sold 1 million units by 2001. Very influential. Alright, hey, this shit's on the maybe pile. Surely it's not the same Neil Breen. You know? Can't be. Also, it's definitely not, right? Because this is a UK game. And Neil Breen lives in Arizona, as far as I know. He is old enough, though. Alright, I'm not going to read the plot. Broken Sword, huh? Alright. Interesting. I'm digging into this. I have to know. I have to discover. Okay. He's credited as Neil Breen. But apparently the artist is Cornelius Neil Breen. And Neil Breen doesn't have a game credit in his IMDb. But I really do want it to be like an ancestor or a long-lost European brother or something like that. And I also want that song to fucking end. Alright, there we go. A return to Road Warden wouldn't be bad either. That would be nice too. For like the ultimate chill streams. Dracula's organ room ass music. Yeah, when Dracula's having a heart attack or something. But yeah, not Neil Breen that we know of, but tempting. What was another one? There's some insane asylum point and click game around that time too that was pretty good, but I don't know if it really was or if it aged poorly or not, but I couldn't tell you what it was called offhand, but I remember playing it. Play this character with head bandages, you're in an insane asylum. The opening cutscene, you get in a car crash or something like that. What was it called? Time Commando or Bust? I played Time Commando. I remember that game. Shall we play Twinsons? Some Twinson games? I think that might be an Australian adventure game. I think. Wasn't there one that had Giger inspired artwork? There was, but it was very bad. Sadly. Yeah, there was one game that had Giger, not just inspired, but official Giger artwork. But it was not a good game. Awesome art, obviously, but Little Big Adventure. I don't know what it was called elsewhere, but I played that shit. Very early 3D. Yeah, Little Big Adventure. That's what the man, it had a lot of names apparently. It was Twinsons, because the main character is Twinson. Twinson's Odyssey. Little Big Adventure 2, also known as Relentless Twinson's Adventure. This game had at least 3 different names depending on where it was released. That was 97 for 2, and I don't know when the first one released. I don't know if that one would age well. I don't know if it's... I don't know if that one is, like, great to go through again. But I remember it being fun back in the day. Just to back up the Broken Sword nomination, you were also original Road Warden suggester. Oh, nice. Okay. What was the Giger artwork one? It was called... No, it wasn't called Scorn. Dark Seed, I think. Yeah, Dark Seed, 92. Dark Seed is a psychological horror point-and-click adventure game developed by Cyber Dreams in 1992. Based on artwork by H.R. Giger. And it's unfortunately really bad because I know I just read that paragraph and to you it sounds so sick, and it does. And it did. But I don't remember it being good. I remember it being really annoying to play, and yeah. Sadly. Apparently there was a Dark Seed 2, which I never knew about. In 95, 3 years later. Was that one reviewed very well, or... I don't think I ever played Dark Seed 2. Dark Sneed, yeah. Apparently Scorn is one that always pops up as well. That one's recent though, right? It's 2022. Was Scorn any good? Apparently it's a Serbian game. Inspired by Giger and Beksinski, both of which I like. I have to look into that one more. Yeah, Dracula's organ. I get it. I get it. All right, what's our maybe pile again? Road Warden, Planescape, Broken Sword. 1. Curse of Monkey Island. What else did we... I'm gonna scroll up. Was Time Commando a serious one? I don't remember that one being that awesome, but it's nostalgic. Ogre Battle. Blade Runner point and click? That sounds cool. I don't think I've played it. Mordor feels too old. Apparently it has no story. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Shadowgate. I know King's Quest. I know a few of those. King's Quests were legendary back in the day when King's Quests were coming out. They had a reputation. They had a reputation of, if you, by accident, happen not to click on something slightly hidden 3 hours into the game, 13 hours into the game, you soft-locked and simply had to lose and couldn't beat it and had to start over. There were a lot of situations like that in King's Quest, at least so I heard. Sam & Max. Yeah, I played Sam & Max Hit the Road. I wonder if the humor ages well or not. I get the distinct impression it might not. But it was, I remember it being cute, Sam & Max. We could also do middle old, I guess. I started Mass Effect 2 and never... I think we played that for a few hours, maybe. And that's about it. We got all the way through Mass Effect 1, though. And that was better than I remember it being. I rather enjoyed it. Good vibes, actually. Good feel. For Mass Effect 1. That was a good one. I suppose I could finish ME2. Or it wouldn't even be finished, it would be like, keep playing, because I think we only got a few hours into it. Original Baldur's Gate. Could be fun, little jaunt through the history of old D&D rules and setting. Yeah. Forgotten Realms. I own Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, thanks to GOG, for like $4. So, could go through BG1. Probably wouldn't go through BG2, actually. Probably maybe just keep it to 1. Rouge. The, progenitor of Rouge-like. You heard Icewind Dale and Neverwinter were cool too? Yeah. Neverwinter Nights was a lot different than the other two. Icewind Dale was still the... what the fuck was the engine called? It had like a badass name. I can't remember what the engine was called, but it was the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 engine. And then Icewind Dale was on the same engine. Havoc engine, maybe? And then Neverwinter Nights was different. That was full 3D. Oh, Infinity Engine, not the Havoc engine. Infinity Engine. Infinite isometric gameplay. Imagine. I don't know, if I'm gonna play Icewind Dale, I feel like you should play Menzo Baranzan instead, right? Because it's sort of like the original Icewind Dale. It's older. We need older. It's still got Drist in it, I think. It's a little closer to the a little closer to the, what do you call it, Eye of the Beholder kind of games. You know that from the Drist books. Yeah, Menzo Baranzan, the biggest drow elf city. You didn't play Icewind Dale? I did. Even at the time, they were like, yeah, this is more of the thing you like. It's alright. If you absolutely couldn't get enough of Baldur's Gate gameplay, here's Icewind Dale, a new location and a new place, but it's just more. That's not a bad thing. Daggerfall? I don't know if it would run. Unironically, Morrowind, alright. But if I do a Morrowind playthrough, I'm using mods. I'm using a lot of mods. Some mods you might find unnatural. And I'll be reading a lot, because that's the game actually. OpenMW is great. It's not an Elder Scrolls game without mods. That's true. It's true. I like games where Unky HeyWoah reads. I hope so. Straight open MW and that's about it. Road Warden, Planescape, Broken Sword 1, Curse of Monkey Island, Baldur's Gate 1, Morrowind, Menzo Baranzan. Which I certainly did not spell correctly. Damn, we got some Ragtime FF8. Okay. I'm down. Tyranny is also a very good CRPG if there's room on the list for another long one. Tyranny, huh? Oh, nice cover art. When did this come out? Ugh. Game that came out in the last 20 years. Okay, I mean, we can branch out. Yeah, looks like it came out in 2016. Well, it's close enough to being 10 years old. I guess I can dip a toe in. Alright. Tyranny video game. It's a role-playing video game developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Paradox Interactive. While not a sequel, Tyranny builds upon the gameplay and engine used in Obsidian's previous title, Pillars of Eternity. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I played Pillars of Eternity. I was one of the funders. I funded Pillars of Eternity. In a small part. I liked it for what it was. Over a bit too quick. A little railroady. But yeah, I hadn't heard of Tyranny, so... And I didn't know they made a Pillars 2. I kind of jettisoned out of the whole thing. Anyway, Tyranny's up there. I'll write it down. Tyranny. Yeah, over too quick, that's my nickname. I got a pillar you can try, yeah. Simon the Sorcerer for a 30-year-old point and click. Simon the Sorcerer, let me see about that one. 1993 point-and-click adventure game, published by AdventureSoft for Amiga and MS-DOS. Employed verbal commands found in other titles of the period, including The Secret of Monkey Island, yeah. The game's setting was inspired by the novels of the Discworld series, based. It incorporates parodies on fantasy novels and fairy tales, such as Lord of the Rings, Jack and the Beanstalk. The lead character's design was inspired by Blackadder. Oh, shit. Okay. With the character voiced by Chris Berry on the CD re-release. Interesting. Blackadder from Golden Axe? Not so much. More like Blackadder from the BBC. You might recognize him from his other name, Mr. Bean. Stop suggesting games. Morrowind is already on the list, yeah. Right, Simon the Sorcerer, this one might be too old, but it's got a star-studded cast, so, well, not really inspired by, but Simone the Sorcerer. This playlist is making you want to go back and play Final Fantasy VII, but it's a Final Fantasy VIII OST. Is that a subtle dig against Final Fantasy VIII, or? I mean, still, it's nostalgic anyway. It wasn't that subtle? Yeah, okay. I liked 8. I won't hear 8 slander in this house. Eight was fine. All right. I guess that's all I can ask. Liked 8. Where's the unfollow button? All you have to do is click the follow button a second time, and then it'll ask, "Are you sure you want to leave for a reason this wrong?" And then you'll click yes. FF4 is good based entirely on looking at the art in the Prima guide. FF4 was good. You could almost say that Final Fantasy IV was the first good one. But then again, I'm like really old, right? So I played all of them in release order in America. So like I played 1, and then 2 and 3 weren't released in America, and then I played 4, so on and so forth. When 8 is sandwiched between 2 of the best Final Fantasies, yeah, true. 7 and 10 are probably 2 of the best, for sure. And then also 6 was really good as well. It's kind of weird. There was like a period of like a whole bunch of bangers and then just kind of skipped one. How dare you? Malding? Why? Surely you don't actually like 9. The worst one. I mean, okay, 5 is worse than 9. But after that, I mean, like 4 is better. 6 is way better. 7 is better. Even 8 is better. 10 is much better. Okay, 11 is worse. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. The world's wrongest man. Come, see God's folly. 9 was better than anything after 10? I'm not sure. Let me think about it. 11 was trash, but it also doesn't count because it was an MMO. 12 was trash, and it does count, even though it had MMO gameplay, which was not to its benefit. But it had some cool characters and story elements. They were just trapped within a trash compactor. 12-head Fran, that was great. So both 9 and 12 were not fun to play, with gameplay that wasn't fun. But 12 had more than one redeeming character. Unlike 9, who had Vivi and then nothing. Just totally irredeemable characters. There wasn't a single one that was interesting. The plot was trash. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it to 12. I think 12 was better than 9. It wasn't fun, but I think it was better than 9. It at least had more than one good character in it, unlike 9. 9 had Vivi, and then every other character was insufferable. You, like, wanted them to lose, and it was the only reason you kept playing. Especially the main character and his love interest. Yeesh. Freya was based. She looked cool, I guess. You're saying 9 had bad gameplay and you champion 8, which is endless hours of just drawing magic over and over? Yeah. That's how bad 9's was. Like, I don't... Do you love leveling up your equipment? What's the... I don't get it. You don't even have to draw that much. Also, imagine remembering any character in 8. How could you not forget... What about Hot Dog Day? Zell's original dialogue? Nothing is worse than 7 summoning. Yeah, where you can't skip it and you have to watch 14 minutes of Nysa around over and over. Yeesh. You remember Squall using a gunblade? Does that count? Yeah, it does count. An exciting gameplay, like pressing the shoulder button randomly. Force feedback. Oh my god. And then 13, I can't really argue about 13. Were there any cool characters in 13? I'm trying to think. There was Lightning, who was like female Cloud and made me realize that Cloud wasn't actually cool. Afro Good Father Man, who had a chocobo maybe. Pink Girl. Huge, what was that dude with the jacket, with the white jacket? I'm trying to remember. Massive himbo, brain empty, no thought brain. Snow, that was it. That guy, yeah. Head empty, no thoughts guy. The most dude bro, you don't even want to look them up on Google. Hope was the worst character the franchise has ever had. Yeah. How did that game get 2 sequels? You know? I guess they made their engine and they needed to pay for it somehow. Cloud was never cool. He was whiny as shit, but his story was interesting. The things that were happening around him, yeah. He eventually became a hero. Like a bona fide, you know, leader man hero guy for the last 10 hours of the game or so. So there, I guess there was that. He went through an arc. Yeah, 13s were worse, I think. Their gameplay was kind of interesting, though. Kind of a riff on 10-2s, actually. It was like they took Final Fantasy V and 10-2 and mashed them together, and that was 13 as far as gameplay. 10-2 is the only good Final Fantasy game. It had good gameplay, and the dress sphere stuff was actually pretty interesting and fun. It's too bad all of the characters were, and the story were apparently written by the people who did Power Rangers, and it showed in a bad way. But the playing dress-up part was actually cool and interesting as far as a game mechanic was concerned. Triple Berserkers, hold X to win, that shit was sweet. Amongst other combos. If you had to learn about X2 story, you'd consider the rope. The rope would be more enjoyable. 10-2 story was... Remember how 10 ended and it was a good ending? Like it was the ending the game and the story of the game deserved and should have? Well, 10-2 entirely ruins the ending with the whole premise of 10-2. There was no such thing as molding back then, but I was. And then 14 was an MMO, and then 15 was crap. Very memeable, though. 15 was like filled with potential memes. But their main song wasn't even an original song. Disgusting. And it was clearly like so unfinished. It made Metal Gear 5 look finished. 15. Like you go down a series of like isolated hallways that contain story, and then at a certain point the game is like, and then 50 years transpires, and play the last 1 hour. What? Alright. '16 has been kind of fun so far. It's an action game for sure, but it's pretty to look at, and the big kaiju fights are neat. Yeah, to me, 16 is a watch. It's a watch, not play. Big action set piece, and then big action set piece, and then big action set piece, kinda. When I was watching it, it didn't feel a lot like an RPG. Doesn't mean it can't still be fun. It was just a watch for me. Kind of like God of War. I'd rather watch God of War than play it, the new ones. Although that's for a different reason, I guess. It's not really like 16. Like, the most recent God of War is an excellent movie. Like, it's acted really well. Whoever the car salesman ass actor guy who did who plays what's his name? Not Thor. What's Thor's dad in the lore? I can't remember his name. The one-eyed god. Yeah, Odin. Like, he puts on an actually great performance, like an actor. Not like a video game actor, but like a great performance. He kind of steals the show. It's like I'm watching a Netflix show, except good, you know? I don't know. That shit was great. It would have been better as a movie, or maybe like a TV show or something. Odin is portrayed correctly as a psychotic, abusive dad. Yeah, he's a slimy, conniving, abusive father figure. Just super manipulative and selfish, and all that stuff that's usually done so poorly in media, right? The trope is, oh, we'll show the guy beating his wife, he's bad. Oh, we'll insinuate rape, he's bad. But in this fucking video game, they show it in a much more realistic way, which I found really refreshing. Because if you're not quite paying attention to him, he's very charismatic. And you get why people fall for his shit, you know. and why he instills self-doubt in everyone around him and all this other stuff. Really cool, I thought. I really liked it. You heard him described like a mob boss? He kinda, yeah. Just an emotional manipulator. Just a king manipulator. Anyway, I guess this is talk about cool video games time, which I'm fine with. I might go on a walk, but BRB bathroom break, and then more game talk, huh? Yo. Are we back? Alright. Now maybe do a Bale Grimnir. That could be an interesting one too. Has it been long enough? It's been a great many years since I played an old, what is it? Little Giant, Big Small Games, Little Big Games, something giant. I don't know. They did like Bastion and Hades, Little Big Planet Games. Super Giant, that's it. That's it. It's been a great many years since I played Transistor. That's actually kind of a short one, too. It might be in the maybe pile. Transistor was a fun one. I really liked that one. I wonder if it holds up. Here's a question, Mr. Woe. What kind of game do you want to play? I don't have a preference. Well, I mean, I do, but... I want to play a story game that I can talk to chat all during. It's kind of the umbrella. You like the Bale card, but the thought of playing a Boros deck makes you prematurely go into coma. Don't you mean a boring deck? But true, yeah. Boros do be having a little bit of bore. Actually, no, they don't. White-red, if you're playing a white-red commander that does something with attacking, like attack triggers, creates tokens of stuff when they're attacking or something like that, you can put like a bunch of really cool shit in there. It's just there's no glue at all. It's glueless. It's glueless deck building behavior. Nothing sticks, no glue. You play cards in your hand, and when you run out of cards in your hand, you just lose. That's playing red-white. And that's the problem. That's my problem with white, or Boros anyway. Is it feels like you're playing a glueless, there's no glue to keep everything together. You don't have a way to keep that hand full. You got white's atrocious draw, where most of it is like, if your opponent is winning really hard, draw a card maybe. You draw a card and then all your opponents draw 2 cards or some shit. Gross, right? And then red has the temporary card draw. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. One of those cards that you exiled is going to be really, really useful 2 turns from now. Too bad, it's fucking gone forever. Get fucked. It's the most annoying type of temporary card draw ever. Or a bunch of draw discard. Absolutely disgusting. So you just don't have any good gas stations. Like, the stuff you're doing is really fun, but then you run out of it, and you're just, like, sitting there, helpless. As even the green players across from you are drawing infinite cards. Jesus, you know? Black is drawing infinite cards by paying life to do it. Blue is drawing infinite cards by paying X or doing other stuff to do it. Green is drawing infinite cards by purely existing by accident. And then red's like, hey, I can I can exile the card, and if you can't play it right now, get fucked, I guess. Like, oh, cool. Thanks. Awesome. I love it. You just don't usually like combat trick or generate treasure tokens to burn things, which is how you typically see Boros decks skew. Yeah. Kinda. Usually they're fun for some, but it's not enough plates to spin. I really like Duke. I like Duke. That guy is alright with me. But white and or red just don't have enough draw in them to make the deck like viable, in my opinion. Eventually they'll just cave and make all the colors the same, and at that point I'll probably really enjoy it. But until then, I'm kind of hesitant. Anyway, he's a maybe. You're also a degenerate blue-black, blue-green, blue-black-green enjoyer. Well, those are wonderful combinations. Not so much blue-black for me. But blue-black-green, now we're speaking my language. Speaking of blue-black, I could do some merfolk. Historically speaking, I don't like merfolk. But there are some very powerful cards you could include there. Some of these merfolk are really pushed. Flash Lord of Atlantis with counter-target non-creature spell ability. Jesus. Beginning each end step, if any opponent randomly loses 3 life, regardless of whether you caused it or not, draw some cards. Dire Undercurrents, a little expensive, but fun. Bunch of phasing out effects, stuff like that. Merfolk. Pullback Zombies is cool. Also, I don't like tribal. I'm not a tribal player. Sometimes it feels like, I don't know, it seems to me that the average player fucking loves tribal. They can't get enough of it. I'm gonna play all merfolk. I'm gonna play all saprolings. I can't wait to play tribal whatever. I don't care. I don't know what people see in it. All elves, all goblins, all whatever. Tribal to me is like, I don't know. It's like I'm building a deck that they have designed for me already. If that makes sense. And yeah, I guess maybe this is just where I depart from the average commander player. They fucking love tribal, and I don't see what they see in it. You just kind of like type in the creature type, and then just click on the good cards, I guess? I don't know. I'm not saying that my decks are so, like, way more creative. That's not really my stance. I'm just, in general, not really interested in tribal at all, I guess. I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't care about tribal. It's not interesting to me. I've played tribal in tournaments and stuff, but, you know, I've played goblins in Legacy and elves in Legacy, and I played merfolk in Modern a million years ago once, or maybe in Standard, I can't remember. Like every once in a while when it was good, but... or like slivers or whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't want to if I had a choice, I guess. The bash down, you play mostly Modern with Infect. Infect tribal, I don't know. Infect I liked. I don't know anything about the Modern metagame nowadays. The last time I saw Infect was like I was grinding Star City events and Matt Ross was playing it. And it was good then. It was a scary deck. With Fury Band, Merfolk are back. I don't pretend to know the ins and outs of the current like metagames and stuff because I'm not in the competitive scene any longer. But just from afar, I was surprised they didn't take Grief and Fury. It seemed to me both of those were really strong, and if I had to choose one that was more scary, I would have thought that it was Grief. But then again, I'm more of a combo player at heart, and so of course I would consider Hand Disruption to be more scary than Creature Disruption. But still, I don't play Modern anyway, so... Play tribal decks for the same reason you play any given army in AoS, combination of aesthetics, lore, and playstyle. Well, sure, I mean, that's probably why everybody plays everything. You know? People see Chu Lane hit the table and roll their eyes till they find out they're playing a weird and bad tribal deck with him. Maybe. The Shrieking Drake? That's a Drake, right? Drake tribal? There's lots of ways to play tribal. Yeah, there's for sure tons of different ways to play tribal. There's like combo tribal and attack tribal and make a million mana tribal. You know, there's as many ways to play tribal as there are to play Magic, really. Just adding a creature type, what do you call it? You're just adding a creature type design restriction on top of whatever else you were probably doing, you know. Maybe I'm painting with a wide brush. You think they had tough choices for banning? I kind of agree, yeah. Grief is probably scarier, but Fury is more restrictive on go wide. But so is Bowmasters. Yeah, I suppose so is Bowmasters. I imagine that if everyone is playing Fury, then the incentive to play like almost any creature that like dies to Fury is sort of awful, right? So it kind of pushes that out. So it's like, I don't play creatures unless those creatures are Bowmasters, and even then. So maybe they did it from that perspective, like what does this choke off from the format? And Fury chokes off more than Grief. Maybe. If I was forced to explain their banning, I would do so that way. But this is like, as somebody who doesn't know much about the format in the first place. You wish Grief was Thoughtseize and you wish Solitude was Path to Exile? No, you gotta make all the cards free. So that, Modern is kind of like on a rotation in between each Modern Masters you make. Man, this is so inspirational, this music in the background. It's like I'm walking across the longest bridge in the world and flying a motorcycle that's also a spaceship and watching the moon cry a tear of monsters onto the planet right before everyone loses their memory for no fucking reason. And the plot stops making any sense. Not that it really did before that. Damn, 8 was so sick. Brock Grungson, I made this for people who like vehicles. I hope I succeeded. I don't like vehicles. But I tried to make something that people who liked vehicles might like. The big ships. As it turns out, there's some highly decent dwarf like vehicle synergy stuff. So you can put all that in there. I made it the colors that allow you to put all that in there. But I'm not trying to play vehicles. I'm also not trying to play absolutely boilerplate control. While every one of my opponents looks at this guy and reads Total Eclipse and is like, we have to kill him before he casts it. I'm not trying to do that. Somebody might. on a Jeskai over Woober for Brock, because I think there really is black in the color identity of KO. I view KO's color identity as the colors of capitalism, except taken to the extreme. So everything but green. Although you could argue a lot of green in that anyway, but I'd... not for KO anyway. Teclis playing both Smothering Tithe and Rhystic Study, for sure. 100% he is, yes. And Sensei's Divining Top, even though he doesn't need to, just to make his turns take longer. And your turns take longer. Croak would be fun, but I'm not like a dino... I'm not a big dino guy. And also I don't like Tribal. But this is definitely a good card for somebody who really does like Dinosaur Tribal and just wishes it had blue. KO could be colorless, maybe? I don't think so. I really think there are a lot of colors within KO. There really is a lot of emotion and ingenuity and order and structure and greatness at any cost. I really think there are a lot of colors and their philosophies and their emotions into KO. Yeah, they use a lot of machines. Yeah, they have a lot of technology. But it's technology backed up by real emotions and real thoughts. Like, he's an artifact creature because he's got a power suit that's basically his own body. But I think there really are colors behind it. Colorless is like a vacuum of everything. I struggled. I couldn't see anything that would be like an absence of all color in AoS in any case. I wanted you to get the full exploitation of your colorless artifacts, and you need colors to do that. You saw a confetti anime Rhystic Study at the new store. When playing some tabletop stuff, it was pretty. Yeah, that one's good. I got one of the anime ones. But I don't play Rhystic Study in all my decks, even though I probably should. It's only in the one. It's only in the good one. Anyway, not try and croak. Alario would be kind of cool, actually. She's like the... Who's that pig? The big pig? The god pig. She's kind of like a souped up version of that. In a sense. She didn't start out as that, but that's what she ended up being. Does she slot into my Al decks without issue? Yeah, she'll fit right in. She'll fit right in. If you were to cheat her out, that's pretty good because she auto-regenerates. Much like in Age of Sigmar. If you don't have mortal wounds, you're probably not gonna kill her and she's probably invincible, and so it's a similar thing in Magic. If you can't exile her, she's just gonna auto-regen every time she dies. And I think adding white to the pig ability, Sneak Attack, is kind of sick. You get access to Karmic Guide and Torsten, founder of Benalia, for refilling your hand over and over. Really hard to deal with, I think. Giant Adelphage. Or Adaphage, I mean. She'd be kind of fun, too. Just big swings. You gotta give her haste somehow, but you're in red, you can do it. She's life-focused, but there's lots of black insects. But he can't put death on the god of life, right? Yeah, I didn't, for the most part, I didn't choose colors based on what you could play in Magic. The only time I cheated a little bit was twice with that. I cheated one time with Manfred, minorly, because red is such a big vampire color that I wanted people to play vampires in the vampire deck. But also, Vince and Tom successfully argued for Manfred to have red in his color anyway. And the other cheat was with Archeon. Because there just isn't any green in his character. There just isn't. Like in the lore of his character. There's none. Like in his nature, I guess. But he's chosen of Nurgle. And every time someone plays him, they always mark him Nurgle. And I want people to be able to play Nurgle stuff in an Archeon deck, and so for that reason I shunted green in, even though philosophically there really isn't any green in Archeon. But the Nurgle Blessing thing is kind of a backdoor way into that. What does Dethrone do? When you're attacking the player with the most life, you get 1/1. So it's a very minor keyword, but it's pretty flavorful for, you know, what he does. Slayer of Kings, Dethrone, it kind of, you know, word-wise it fits. Fight is a green mechanic, and you kind of have a fight on death ability. Yeah, that's true. That's his command ability, essentially. What is it called? By My Will, I think. Archeon would be a fun one, probably. Get to play all the funny 5-color spells that are really good. Treachery, Master Warcraft. He's hexproof, which is a big problem. Gotrek is silly. The existence of Alina was a big deal for Gotrek. Like, oh, okay, I'm starting to see what this deck would kind of look like. Archetype of Aggression. A little Chroma, or not Chroma, but Devotion. For sure would never want to play this, though. Usharan would be fun. For a little bit of a Voltron. Voltron / life gain. And then if you would gain more life than your starting total, instead you make that many zombies. Sorry. White Ghoul Surf creature tokens with Frenzy 1. And so stuff like Debt to the Deathless or Celestial Mantle, double your life total whenever he deals damage to somebody. Sort of Feast and Famine, Carador. This one would be kind of fun. His problem though, is that he's a 6/6 for 6, who probably should cost more than 6, maybe. He's really good for 6. But he's just going to be removed so often. That's the problem with a lot of these commanders though. FNF is great flavor. Yeah, I have put it in for flavor because it's Feast and Famine, but also it's doing what you want it to do. You would use it in a deck like this, right? Because you want him to be enchanted and equipped. So it was kind of perfect. It did all the things. It was very flavorful besides. And Celestial Mantle, this is how he views himself, how his subjects view him, right? Spirit Tribal. Spirit Tribal is really good because a lot of their lords are just nuts. Like your spirits are hexproof and 1/1. Your spirits auto phase out whenever anyone targets them. Like there's a ton of really good spirit lords. They all naturally fly. You can make a bunch of tokens in various ways. This would be strong. It's in strong colors except for ramp. It's not really what I would want to do. Because again, I'm not big on tribal, but... Orpheon Catacross. I get the distinct impression that this deck would just be Ephemerate deck, like every single Ephemerate ability in the whole game, and then Catacross. And if they ever let you untap with him or get too much mana and play him, then eventually you would like flicker him 7 times and eventually people would run out of stuff and just start losing all their lands. So maybe he's slightly unfun in that way. But I don't know, man. Counterspell him, right? Easy. Just play blue. If he didn't lean so crazy hard onto the flickering, I think he would actually be fun besides that, though. Similarly with Manfred, a less punishing flicker, but one that wants you to have more creatures out, and a vampire theme besides. Markov Enforcer, extra cool. Since Manfred exiles himself over and over, he auto activates Markov Enforcer for free fights. Ahem. Maybe I actually should make a Nagash. Maybe I should actually make a Nagash. EDH. That could be kind of silly. Yeah, he costs 12. But he has Convoke, so he doesn't cost 12. He costs much less than 12. He's kind of overpowered when he's in play, unless somebody Swords to Plowshares him, right? But you're in blue. So if somebody manages to exile him, it's kind of your fault. You're the one in blue, right? Necropotence, Dam, double Tokenies, Mana Drain. This shit could be actually kind of fun. Tapping all your guys, blasting a Nagash, and just casting Damnation immediately. Potentially stealing everyone's creatures. 9 colorless for the Books of Nagash, indeed. Somebody recommended that last stream. They're like, hey, the 9 Books of Nagash. And I'm like, that's true. I was already thinking about a really high mana cost with Convoke. So what about that? What about 1 per book? Are these for EDH or normal? Definitely for Commander. Absolutely not for Constructed Magic. I didn't balance these at all for Constructed Magic. I balanced all these cards to be only commanders playing against other Age of Sigmar commanders. Some of these aren't even okay to be in a 99, I don't think. Like, if you cheat them out, some of them are kind of too good even, perhaps. Is this real, or did someone make these as a what if? Somebody made these as a what if, and that somebody was me. Yeah, I made 1 or more, 1, sometimes 2 per faction in all of Age of Sigmar for everybody. I made a YouTube video about it. And I put them up on MTG Cardsmith so people can play with them if they want to. I tried to like represent the lore and the playstyle of the thing, and then have them all be kind of impressive and stuff like that. You may want to post these on our Magic Circle Jerk thing. I don't go to Reddit. I don't know too much about it. I mean, get permission, obviously, from the other players, but for the most part, I made them expensive, but, like, really good. In keeping with the understanding that in Commander, if your Commander costs, like, 7, it's probably bad, right? And so I they're balanced against each other because they're all expensive and splashy and swingy and stuff like that. They're kind of supposed to do that. Shadukar the Based, 3 BRRG Vampire Werewolf flip card. Oh yeah, the old whenever somebody casts no spells, it flips, and then when they cast 2 spells, it flips back. What did you make for Gietz? I made Scragrot the Loon King. 3/3 for non-white 4. Gloomspite Goblin, Ward 3. With Fungal Mooncraft, whenever you cast or copy a colored spell, create a 1/1 red and green Boingy Boy creature token with flying for each of that spell's colors. Threshold Boingy Boys get 1/1 and have Myriad. So a Gloomspite Gets deck is going to feature just a whole bunch of tricolor, like random-ass good stuff and Cascade stuff. Some spell copy even if they want. And just making tons of Boingy Boy tokens, getting Threshold to give them a Myriad. Just having a good old time. Like, I felt like it would be actually pretty fun to brew up. Just random 3-color stuff. The more colors, the better, because the more colors it has, the more Boingy Boys you make. The mana is going to be a little rough, because 4-color decks, it's hard to make mana bases for them, but I think you'll be rewarded. And he does have Ward, that's something. And he's Skaven? Yeah, I made Lord Screech Vermin King. 5/5 for 7 with Cascade and Rat Storm. When you cast the spell, create a 1/1 black rat creature token for each spell cast this turn. And his ability is Dark Ritual mana, tap, sacrifice 13 rats. For each opponent, exile the top 13 cards of the player's library. Player loses life equal to the total mana value of cards exiled from their library this way. If a player's total is 0, you lose the game. And so sometimes you do like 20 damage to all your opponents. And then every once in a million years, they're going to have 13 lands on top and you lose, which is kind of funny. But otherwise, you're playing Marrow-Gnar, a whole bunch of rats, obviously, Burgi, Illusionist Bracers, Time Spiral, and kind of like going off with this weird, awkward, funny, sacrificial combo that might kill you. I felt like it was very Skaven. You said you made 2 per faction? I said I made 1 or 2 per faction. Usually just 1. Some factions got 2. But I made like 35 cards. There's a lot of cards to make up. And some factions only had 1 clear leader guy. Some had more than 1. This guy would be kind of cool, but I know that Frank on the Rocks has chosen Korgus Cool for his. And he's a Khorne player at heart, so I'm going to let him. This guy's just Khorne fanfiction on a card, basically. Also, when I was searching for cards that you might play, like example cards you might play in a Korgus Cool deck, I came across Garna, Bloodfist of Keld, who was really very representative of the Khorne playstyle, I thought. So I hadn't heard of this card before I was looking it up. You could do a fun Skaven stealing things deck, too. For sure, yeah. Skaven stealing or exploding. Like a fling-style deck would work pretty well for Skaven as well. Grab the reins, you know, you take stuff and sacrifice it, or for some reason. Obviously, just Rat Tribal as well would be good for them. Gorefather for Beast of Chaos would be actually kind of fun. Honestly, this would be a cool deck to build. Yeah, I could do Trug now, too, because he's in here. The problem with Trug is his War Scroll is just roll a die and 1 of 6 random things happen, which doesn't lend itself to making a very great focused magic card. I could do it, probably. But it's not doing me any favors, you know. Die rolling is magic cannon now. True. D20 though. No, there's some D6s that don't appear in Silver Border as well. There's D12s. I don't know if there's any 8s and 10s, but I know that there's the D12 ones. There's like I think there's a cycle of like 7 mana cards where you roll 2d12 and then one number you do something and the other number you do something else. I think the red one is kind of good because it makes treasures. There are a bunch of D20s though, like the ancient copper dragon and stuff like that. So yeah, I could just roll dice. But I meant it more from a like player enjoyment, Magic the Gathering point of view. In general, Magic players think about things differently than AoS players. And I think I even said it in the video, dare I say more optimally. Magic players tend not to like randomness. Because it's essentially bad. It's just worse than being consistent. And so you gotta really stack the deck in their favor for a Magic player to even want to think about randomness. You know, you gotta give them the Mana Crypts and the Krark's Thumbs, or the no matter what happens, I win kind of stuff, like voting. And I guess they are AoS cards. And, you know, I do have a little bit, like, I have a Nagash randomness. I do have a flip a coin for the finger of, or hand of dust. But even on this one, something good happens no matter what. At least there's that. This is Timmy brand, the Timmy one. I think somebody, SG Arcade was thinking about playing this one. Non-deterministic combo players are the outliers. Yeah. Any Sunrise Eggs enjoyers in the chat? Personally, I'm gonna have 6, but some people like that. Honestly, this would be a cool deck to make. Gorefather, maybe. I wonder how long you could keep the combo rolling. I had to word this one carefully so that it wasn't just food chain. Because I didn't want just like another food chain. And so I had to carefully say, from your hand, always from your hand. You know, no Eternal Scourge or Swans, even though those are in blue. What's the other one? Some Squee I think you can cast from exile. It's like, no, just from your hand. There's still probably some infinite combo, I'm sure. But background music you remember from somewhere, but you don't know what it is. It is the legendary Beast from Final Fantasy VIII OST. This might be when you get like the magic lamp and you do the boss fight where he demis you over and over, I think. Maybe. Did you look at the 40k demons and chaos cards for inspiration at all? No, I did not. As a matter of fact, when I was previewing this list on Warhammer Weekly a month ago, I was, which one was I doing? It was somebody, I was showing them Be'lakor, and I had done up a card called Be'lakor the Dark Master, and I showed them this, and they're like, that's a really cool card, but you can't have Be'lakor the Dark Master, because literally the card Be'lakor the Dark Master, that exact name, is already a card. And I'm like, oh really? And I looked it up. Oh yeah, it was one of the 40k cards. Okay. We'll call him Be'lakor the First Prince, then. And so I had to change the name, because there was already a magic card, the Dark Master. Pithing Needle Bellicor? Yeah, exactly. You did plan play a Blim Comedic Genius deck in your pod for your Christmas themed deck. Krampus, give you gifts if you want. Give you gifts you don't want. That's funny. It's an appropriate name as well, Krampus the Storyteller. Generally, I've found you just ask people and they'll let you play whatever. You know, you're not trying to run something by someone. You're just like, hey, look, I think this will be fun. Let's do it. Like, for instance, in my Garth EDH deck, it's like an old card. It's like a boomer ass old card themed commander deck with a bunch of flickering. And before I play, I'm like, all right, I got one illegal card in here. And it is Chaos Orb. Can I play with this? And I have like a Vindicate just in case, always as a backup, but nobody's ever said no. And then sure enough, when I draw it, everybody has fun. It's like, all right, I designate that card. Let's see if we can flip it entirely around, you know. Funny enough, you actually got your hands on one of the 40k commander decks. Necrons for those carriers, and you got the deck just yesterday. I heard that those decks are good. Like, as in, have a bunch of custom cards in them. Many of the custom cards are actually, like, good or interesting. And they're pretty synergized up. Like, they're legitimately playable. Like, they're good. From what I hear. Basically, cards like Iron Golem that don't let you play things. Another card that lets only one monster block per combat. Tons of curses, that sort of thing. What's that guy? He's like a 1/5 for 4 artifact creature. Only one creature can attack and block each combat or something like that. Crawl space, maybe, things like that. Just rules, but it's rules everyone has to follow. You got the Imperium deck, it's really fun. Yeah, I mean, back in my day, the Commander precons were terrible. Like, almost unplayable. Just garbage. And then they had, like, 3 amazing new cards in them, so that's why everyone wanted them. But they were almost unplayable, just garbage. Apparently that's, like, just not the case anymore. And the precons are highly playable, which is cool. Ahem. Did Kairos have Knowledge Pool? No, he's a lantern. He sees the future and the past. So he's got Ward, tap a Soul Ring. Enters the battlefield with 9 fate counters on it. Remove a fate counter from him to scry 1. Exile the top card of each player's library. And each opponent plays with the top card of their library revealed. So he's a lantern. And then you have a bunch of like future predicting stuff with actual predict. Name a card and then mill. If it's the named card, you draw 2 cards. Arcane Bombardment, Fevered Suspicion that cast those spells that you see coming up. Sensei's Divining Top. What's the diamond mana? That is actual colorless. Not generic, but colorless. Has to be colorless. And so he's tricky. You gotta tap a Soul Ring to get past his ward. Or just have colorless sources of mana here and there, which people tend to. So his ward seems easy, but it's actually kind of tricky. That being said, everyone has a Soul Ring and various other stuff, so I think it's probably okay. Last time you remember a special mana symbol was Snowlands? Yeah, there is. I do have one Snowland here. Unsurprisingly, it's Beastclaw Raiders. We got a snow creature, legendary snow creature, Beastclaw Ogre. When he enters the battlefield, if snow was spent to cast it, you become the monarch. As long as you are the monarch, whenever a creature you control attacks, deals damage equal to its mana value to target opponent. Big, huge, one-turn impact hits, holy shit. And then it's 3 other players' turns, you probably lose monarch, you might not get it back, you take a bunch of damage, and, you know, It's that kind of win more, lose more, Beast Claw style. It is a big turn when you cast him, though, that's for sure. Terror of the Peaks, Regal Behemoth, Oran Frostfang, Dead of Winter. Just big hits. Big hits on big hits. You win real hard if you're winning, and you lose real hard if you're losing, just like Beast Claw. I think CJ Yobusta was thinking about Gordrak. Dude, maybe I'm a lion? The fucking song. Oh, the song. It's so stupid. Oh, you know what? Maybe, I might actually play the Wargog Prophet. I might do this one. 3-color, 1/3, ward 4. Whenever you lose a clash, you lose 2 life. Whenever an opponent loses a clash, they lose 3 life. And then X3, tap, shuffle, scry Y, where Y is the highest toughness among creatures you control, then clash X times. We're bringing back X and Y one time on the silly card for fun. So we care about having big toughnesses and essentially doing the microwave stare with the Wargog Prophet, which is clash in this case. And it's cards like Erratic Explosion and caring about having huge mana costs that get reduced in various ways when it comes to actually casting them. This one might be kind of fun. Whenever you clash and win, you may draw a card. Let's go. It's so cheap. Alright, Wargog Prophet is definitely in the maybe pile, for sure. Did I skip anybody? Sigvald. Vince is definitely playing Sigvald, so I'm not taking that from him. Rodicus is kind of strong. He snowballs real quick. A lot faster than it might seem. Kragnos would be kind of fun too. AKA we have Craterhoof Behemoth at home. I think Wargog Prophet might also like be a good choice in the revealing your commander stage of gameplay, i.e. before game. Because sometimes you reveal a commander and you become a target. Like, you reveal, like, you're like, alright, I'm playing Teclis. And then the Magic players at the table read the card, and they're like, can't be countered, can't counter your spells, all my spells cost double. And they're like, alright, this guy is going to try to cast Teclis at some point. And I'm going to try to kill him before he can. You know, you become a target sometimes. I think Wargog Prophet might end up being the opposite of that, where they're like, what the fuck is this guy trying to do? That sounds stupid. And maybe funny. Maybe we don't target him, I mean, all else equal, in a vacuum. But yeah, it could be fun. Oh shit, has it been 4 hours already? 10:30? Alright. Hey, thanks for stopping by, chat. I got plans now. We got games to play in the future. Possibly some AoS over the weekend. I mean, maybe Monday, but maybe the weekend too. I might get a game of AoS in over the TTS and old games besides. Also, shifting gears due to not really popular demand, but people in chat just having a better idea than me. I think Flesh Eater Courts is the right Y play. I think you guys are right. You've altered history and the world. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow probably. Join my Discord if you feel like it. And I don't know. Be kind, rewind.